Hey, happy Wednesday to you. Really excited to be sharing with you tonight. I'm really going to ask you, help me. If you can do me a favor, I want to put this information in front of as many people as possible. And I really want you to help me do that. Tonight's going to be really impactful. I'm going to talk about something that's really special to me. Um, and I believe it's going to be a blessing to you. And I know it's going to be a huge blessing to tons of people. And so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing this in advance. Thank you for sharing this broadcast tonight. If you're on the YouTube channel, text out the link. If you're on Facebook, I always encourage you to share the video and tag at least three people because tonight's going to be really special. I need to say this as well. Tonight's going to be a little different because um, many people know me in the context of a pastor of a Rebirth Christian Fellowship. However, there's another component, another space that I get the privilege of operating in as the executive director of Rebirth Community Corporation, and it's a really wonderful organization. For many of you that know, we're committed to helping families and communities and empowering people and with economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, employment, emotional well-being, and education. Those are the five pillars of what we do. But one area that is many times a lot of people just aren't aware of is our advocate plan, which is our solution, our answer for social justice, criminal reform. And so I want to talk to you about it tonight. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to ask you to help me help people. I'm going to ask you to help me help people. And so again, thank you for being on. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your time tonight. And I'm praying that this little broadcast tonight will help you usher you into another level of helping change lives. And so I'm praying that tonight is a blessing. I'm praying that you help me bless other people because this is a really serious matter. And so again, I want to talk to you about our advocate plan, which is really, in my opinion, really impactful. And thank you for those that view it at a later date. Um, here's a program. Our advocate plan is again, it's a program of Rebirth Community Corporation. And what do? We help individuals, we help families, and we help communities. One of the things I found is, and I say often that many times the difference between making it and missing it is having somebody who's for you. That's what an advocate is, somebody who's for you. And so you see on the screen, having someone for you is a powerful force. Support and encouragement can potentially be the difference in success and failure. And the advocate plan is Rebirth Community Corporation's attempt to be for individuals and families that may have to or have come into contact with the criminal justice system. That's what we do. That's what we do. The advocate plan is intended to be in place to help men and women, families, sons, daughters, communities navigate through, quite honestly, the trauma of social justice, of the justice system. It's a big deal. And one of the things that many people miss is every family has someone who's been affected by this. I give you a couple reasons of why I'm so passionate about social justice and criminal reform. I'm going to give you some practical reasons, and then I'm also going to couple in some personal reasons. And I'll say again, thank you for sharing, thank you for tagging, because tonight's going to be really impactful. And tonight we're going to make a difference and change lives. We're going to help families and communities and individuals tonight. Now, let me just talk very candidly. Why is criminal justice so important uh, in this age, in this generation? And I'll be honest, quite honestly, for the African American community. Well, here's the why. Here's why. Here's why prison reform is so important. Here's why criminal justice is so important for us to support. This is why the justice system demands our attention. Number one, and I'm just going to be transparent tonight, the prison system isn't right. Now, the United States is only 5% of the world's population, but holds almost 25% of the world's prisoners. Now, 5% of the population, but 25% of the world's prisoners. Then another component, and these are just facts, and I say facts are our friends. The racial makeup in our prisons is disproportionate. Black and brown people represent 12% of the US adult population, or black people represent 12% of the US population, but make up 33% of the prison population, while white individuals make up 64% of the adult population and only 30% of prisoners. Now, I just have to tell you, man, I watched I'm going to give you practical and personal reasons why I'm so passionate about social justice and criminal justice reform. There's a show on Netflix called 13. It's about the 13th Amendment. And quite honestly, if you will watch it, you will see how the prison industry, the penal system, has turned into several things. Number one, it's turned into a cash cow because prison is big business. So multi-million dollar, if not billion dollar industry at this point. Here's the other thing. My personal conviction is I believe that the penal system is an expansion. It's an innovation. It's an iteration of slavery. Because after slaves were emancipated, in order to put that free population back in the workforce, the justice system decided that anything could be a crime. It could be a crime to not have a job. It could be a crime to walk across the street. And so men and women, especially black, African Americans, were imprisoned for doing the most basic things and put back on chain gangs so that they could function with these companies free of charge. Modern day slavery. I was listening to a broadcast this morning, and a gentleman said that says that the prison system is nothing more, as I said, as a revamp of modern day slavery. This time it's just not on ships, it's on land. And so I understand that the prison system is not right. Number two, the prisons don't rehabilitate. Prisons don't rehabilitate. For many, prison is punitive. It's not rehabilitative. And so there many men and women don't have the opportunity, or don't take the opportunity, or are not given the care and the programs to help enhance their lives. So many of them come back from prison with the same deficits that they had before they were incarcerated. So what happens to a person that has no marketable skills, that has no support system, that has no backing, has no advocate? They're put back in a state of desperation. And you know as well as I do, desperation makes you do things that are not really wise. Here's the third thing. Post-release, many aren't ready. The United States recidivism rate is 44%. Many justice-involved individuals are released with no better skills and tools than when they were initially in prison. Now, these are all practical reasons why I believe it's imperative for us to rally behind supporting criminal justice, is because the prison system isn't right. Prisons don't rehabilitate, and post-release, many are not ready. Now, I'm going to tell you, I saw those are practical reasons. Here's my personal reason. For many of you that know me personally, you know my brother has spent, um, quite honestly, close to 30 years, total years in the prison system, over the course of 3 arrests. And so I've watched this. I've watched how uh, my entire family was ravaged by his incarceration. It affected my family emotionally, affected us financially, affected us relationally because of the distance. And the thing I understand is he was not incarcerated because he wanted to be a criminal. He was incarcerated because he chose negative ways to cope with life, which all of us do. And so my brother he was imprisoned. He spent um, several years. He spent 23 and a half of 24 years in prison. He was out less than 6 months. And here's where the advocate plan was born. When he was released, my family came alongside to be his support system. We were his home plan. And he came home and we helped him get on his feet. We housed him, clothed him, because he'd been in prison 23 and a half years. Helped him get transportation. We did everything that we could to do what an advocate should do before him, right? And so what we found is in the midst of all of our attempts to be for him, be an advocate, unfortunately, decisions were made, life happened, he was ill-equipped, and he ultimately ended up being reincarcerated. He's incarcerated right now. And so, again, it's still affecting our family. This is close to 30 years. Now, here is why the advocate plan is so important. And I'm asking you to pray about helping us help individuals, families, and communities with your charitable donation, your financial support of the advocate plan. It's an incredible plan, and we're committed. And again, I thank you for sharing this video. I thank you for tagging people in it because I think it is imperative for all of us to, based on those three reasons. Prisons aren't right. Many times post-release, they're not ready. Prisons don't rehabilitate. It's important for us to undertake this. This is where we come alongside. When my brother was released from prison, um, I was telling him the entire time that um, I was telling him the entire time that he was incarcerated. I said, there are some skills that you should learn. There are some things that, some skills, learning a trade, learning to type, learning how to be involved with computers. All those things I said are critical and important for you to be able to function, right? Let's see, I missed something. I missed a stream. I'm sorry, I missed a stream. Yeah, I've got to fix that. And so and so all of this was critical. My brother was released from prison, and he was working to get back on his feet, um, uh, and I'll never forget. I never forget. My brother, he got released. Many of you know I have a dealer's license. I we took him and we purchased a car for him. Now purchased the car. We helped, pay for cash. He's before we did that, we're working to get him a job. He said, I need to get a job. I said, okay. He wanted to get a job before he got a car. Wise. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I said, we can sit down, take a day, go online and apply for these jobs. He says, no, no, no. I'm going to go and I'm going to get a job with my charisma, my personality. I'm going to talk my way into a job. I said, listen, man, that's not how jobs work these days. I said, you're going to have to go to a kiosk, going to have to apply online. No, no, no. I'm going to talk to somebody. So he asked me to take him downtown, drop him off. He said, I'll call you to come pick me up. And when you pick me up, I'll have a job. So I honored his request. I took him downtown. Before I could get back home, my brother called me almost in tears. This is a 50-plus-year-old man almost in tears because the world had grown so fast. The world was so large that he was absolutely overtaken with the impact of trying to navigate through what this world is so big. Think about it. When he went to prison, there were no iPhones. Everyone didn't have a cell phone. You may have had the little bag phone. Life came. Everybody got you went and got a job based on an interview. Walked in. None of this was in place. He walked in. I'd like a job. Find a computer. Well, I want to get a job. No, no, no. Go to that kiosk. And he was so overwhelmed that he called again almost in tears. I had to go back and pick him up, and he's functioned like a 6-month-old child because the world was so big. What am I saying? He was ill equipped to navigate life after, watch now, after extended incarceration. Here's what's happening. Now, there are some programs in prison that help and support. Wonderful. I'm glad they do. But I'm going to be honest, and I found this over the past five years working in this space, 30 years around it, 5 years intentionally. and very intimately from a professional level, that many of the justice involved individuals post release, they are ill equipped to navigate through life. And when they're ill equipped, they make poor decisions and they are put back in the same position they were. Albert Einstein has been said, it's been documented that it is impossible to solve a problem with the same level of thinking in which you created it. And many of these men and women are not bad people. They made bad choices. And quite honestly, many of them did the same thing that several of us did. The difference is we just didn't get caught. I'll tell you something else. The other thing is, many of us had what I'm asking you to be, an advocate. An advocate. I was at a meeting, and yes, I'm asking you to pray about, and not just pray about it. Click the button, scan the QR code, click the link, and help us, help individuals, families, and communities, help them have hope by setting up giving a one-time donation or setting an automated donation, because these are the things that are critical to help us protect and support people. I was in a meeting with District Attorney Danny Carr several years ago, and we're talking about social justice, criminal reform, and he began to talk to me about diversion court. And he made a statement to me. He said that many times, he says, a huge percentage of people that are incarcerated wouldn't don't have to be if they were able to, if they were privy to or able to take diversion court. So what do you mean? Many times they're misdemeanors and small crimes, and people have made mistakes like many of us have. And just like a driver's record, you can take driving class and avoid the ticket. He says, no, no, no. Diversion court acts operates the same. So why don't more people take advantage of it? Here's what he told me. He said, because of lack of information or lack of resources. So what do you mean? He says you'd pay for diversion court and that would keep you from being incarcerated. And I asked him, I said, how much does diversion court on average cost? His words to me was maybe $200-300, depending upon what the crime. But wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. $300? He said, yeah. I said, so you mean to tell me that $300 could be the deciding factor in whether or not a person is now a person now loses rights, loses freedom over a poor decision? $300? He said, sure. I said, no, no, no. I said, I've got to do something about that. I made a commitment then that I would get with my church rally behind it. Some of my friends rally behind it. And we said, no, no, no. And I'm saying this to you, $300 can keep a young man, young woman out of jail. $300 can keep a young man, young woman out of jail. Is it worth? Is it worth? Is a life worth $300? Is a life worth $50? Now, I'm really asking you. I really want you to help me come alongside, and I'm asking you to be a partner in supporting the Advocate Plan so that we can continue doing the work we're doing in the criminal justice space. I told you practical reasons, personal reasons. When I started seeing the impact of this, when we got my brother was, and this is my why. This is not just about because it's popular. No, no, no. It's because I've seen this firsthand. Families be negatively affected because of incarceration and unjust incarceration and lack of proper rehabilitation. You know, when he was released, he was placed on parole, and we became familiar with the Day Reporting Center, and which is part of his parole process. And so several things happened in there. He had to report every day, from roughly 8 to 5, and take the classes so that he could go from phase 1 to phase 2. There's a series of steps that you have to do, and so there's several things that here's what I found during phase 1. You have to be there from 8 a.m. 5 p.m. Then you have a curfew at 7, right? In order to graduate from phase 1 to phase 2, you have to reach certain criteria. You have to have all your vital records, driver's license, social security card. You have to have um, 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 X amount of, have to have stable housing, all those things. Well, again, thankfully, we were able to be that for my brother. What we found is there were so many men and women that did not have an advocate, and they could not navigate from one phase to the next simply because of certain issues that they couldn't resolve. Perfect example. Once we started the advocate plan, there was a you couldn't go from phase one to phase two so that you're gainfully employed until you had paid off all your legal fees. You couldn't have legal fees. Well, how am I going to pay legal fees if I can't work? If I'm in class 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., my curfew is 7 p.m. I have an hour, 2 hours in between to commute from my class to my home. Where and how do I work? Unless I have an advocate, unless I have somebody who's for me, how do I pay these fees, these fines, so that I can navigate from phase one to phase two to begin employment, start getting back into society? Do you follow what I'm saying? So so part of what we've been able to do is through the advocate plan is provide temporary housing and provide legal assistance. Many of my attorney friends have donated free services, or we've come alongside and help with fees and court costs to help men and women, boys and girls, not only navigate through, get back on their feet, but avoid it. I'll tell you this. This is I think is really cool. I told you the why. I told you the why. Here's the how. Here's the how. We believe criminal reform is best addressed from three perspectives. And the first is avoidance. That's pre-arrest diversion. This is part of where the advocate plan is goes into schools. We have mentors and mental health professionals that go into local schools, and they will serve high school and middle school students with personal development skills, personal mentoring. They'll assist them with mental health services. Why? Because we believe that the best way to avoid prison, the best way to navigate criminal reform is to never be arrested. This is what we're doing on a regular basis. Last year, we supported over our advocates supported over 600 students in the Birmingham city school system. Yeah, uh, it's a big deal, and I'm asking you to help me do it. Number two, the assistance. That's post-release support. What I talked about as related to my brother. With our post-release support, we're helping men and women get back on their feet because, again, many of them, once they're released, they're ill-equipped. We've got great programs that we've been able to do, and here's some of the programs. Um, and we became familiar with all these things through through some of our own personal experiences. Um, we started a program called the Road to Recovery. And so part of what we found is that there were men and women that were incarcerated. And when they were incarcerated, they had vehicles. But while they were incarcerated, family members may have abused the vehicle, or they may have sat and they needed maintenance. When they got back out, they don't have, they have a car, but it needs work. Well, we decided that we would start a program called the Road to Recovery. And we've partnered with local mechanic shops to get discounted services for vehicle repair. And so many times, as these men and women are navigating through post release, as they're making milestones, as they're hitting benchmarks, we're able to say, "Hey, listen, you did such a great job. You're serious about what we're doing. Hey, here's your tires." Here's your oil change. Here's your brakes. Why? Because you need this to be gainfully employed. All of this is putting people back on the road to recovery. This this is such it. Many people miss how important this is, and there are things that you and I take for granted, like going outside, having gas in the car, and jumping in the car, and we don't realize that there's so many men and women who don't have the support, don't have the advocates that we do. And I'm asking you to help me, help individuals, help families, and help communities have hope. It's our Road to Recovery program, which has helped so many people. The Elevate Development Curriculum. That's the curriculum that we wrote that teaches personal development, teaches um, conflict resolution skills, managing, maintaining motivation, helping with conflict resolution, and so many critical tools just to help men and women navigate through what life looks like. Oh my God, where we're teaching character, integrity, and we're offering these services free of charge for men and women after release. Why? So that they're equipped to never go back. Because you will never solve a problem with the same level of thinking that you created. And many times, oh my God, many times people are just the product of their environment and they're thinking like everybody else. They're talking like everybody else. They're choosing strategies like everybody else. And we're saying, no, there is a better way. The Elevate curriculum has helped hundreds of men and women get back on their feet, navigate through life because, quite honestly, the goal is not to coddle them. The goal is to equip them, and they need somebody who's for them. Yes, I'm asking you. I'm asking you if your heart is being touched, and just think about people that you know, family members, friends, um, family members of friends that are being ravaged. What if somebody could be there for them? I'm asking you, help us be there for them. Your generous donation, your one-time gift or automating your gift, being a recurring partner helps us help individuals, families, and communities have hope. No donation is too large, none too small. But I'm asking you, help us help people. So we again providing temporary housing. We going into the county jail providing adult literacy classes. Man, listen, if you talk to any educator, the prison to pipeline is very real. And so the prisons have calculated, they've come up with the algorithm that third grade reading levels is an indicator of the likelihood of a person being incarcerated. So reading levels have been directly connected to incarceration. These are the things that we don't always think about. And I'm telling you, this is a big deal. And I think it's worth our support. I really think it's worth, no, I know it's worth our support. Teaching adult literacy in the county jails, making Christmas merry. I'm really excited about this. Making Christmas merry. I'll show you a quick video of our making Christmas merry. Years ago, when one of my brother's first Christmas back after several years of incarceration, um, Christmas Day came around, and all of my family we exchanged gifts, and we all got him gifts as well. Well, as opposed to appreciating Christmas, he felt that he had no value. Why? Because he was in the first phase. He could not work. He had no money. He had no income. So he could not buy gifts for his family. He didn't realize that his presence was the greatest gift. And so as opposed to rejoicing at Christmas, he feels that he has nothing to offer. And so we've partnered together and created our Making Christmas Merry program. And every year, we're getting ready for it in 2023, we allow men and women that have been involved with the criminal justice system to come and, for at no cost, get Christmas gifts for their family so that on Christmas Day, they've got something to offer and show their love for their families. Here's a clip of last year.
And I've just recently got out of Tutwiler Women's Facility Prison for Women. I did 2 years, and it was a struggle, I just got out September the 26th of 2022. And since I've been out, I've been in the DRC program, and it's a really helpful program that helps you try to get back on your feet, help you get back to the real world, they say. Find jobs and housing and stuff like that, help you get a bond with your kids and stuff like that. And it was really hard for me getting out, not knowing where to turn to and not knowing where to go when I'm so used to being incarcerated for the past 2 years. So with me getting out and getting help from others in DRC, it was really a blessing, and I thank them, and I'm still trying to cope, and I'm still trying to get back on my feet, but I take it one day at a time, and I try not to be stressful, and I just keep praying and asking the Lord to guide me down the right direction and away from harm, and to find a job that's going to be fit for me, and just to open up and talk to people and let them know that it's not what you have been through is where you're going. So don't be ashamed of the past that you have did. When you have the belief in the Lord, it's okay to tell your testimony and say where you've been, because where you've been doesn't define where you're going.
Listen, man, is that a beautiful story? This is just one of many instances that we've encountered of men and women, boys and girls, black and white, that just needed help to get back on their feet, and we're grateful that we're able to do it. Yes, am I asking you to help us do that? Yes, I am. I'm asking you for your generous donation to help individuals, families, and communities have hope. It's just important to us. That's our Making Christmas Merry program. And I'm just really asking that you will consider being a partner in this endeavor. The advocate plan, I've told you the why, I've told you the how, I've told you why it matters. All I'm asking is, will you help us? Will you help us? The QR code is on the screen. The link to give is on screen. It's in the app. And I'm just asking if you will help us, help individuals, help families, help communities. Yes, it was told to me clearly. Yes, $300 could keep a man, could keep a kid out of jail. Such a powerful thing. And I believe this is an answer to someone's prayer. And so, yeah, before I close, I'm just going to ask: click the link, scan the QR code. I'm really praying that you'll come alongside and help us help people. You know, there's a story, familiar story, and I've heard it told several times. Little humor story that a mouse was on a farm, and there was a snake on the farm that was trying to hunt him. The mouse came to the mouse came to a chicken, say, "Hey, you're larger than the snake. Can you snatch him up, pluck him up, bite his head?" The chicken said, "No, that's not my problem." He then goes to the cow, say, "Hey, cow, the snake is hunting me. Can you stomp on him and kill him?" The cow said, "That's not my problem." He goes to the pig and says, "Pig, hey, snake is hunting me. Can you help me kill him, run him off?" Said, "No, no, no, not my problem." Well, neither one of them helped defeat the snake. Well, the snake ends up biting the farmer's wife. She has to go see the doctor. She comes home, and and as she's sick, she says she really needs some chicken soup. The farmer has to kill the chicken, make the chicken soup. She needs for breakfast. She wants to nurse her back. She makes a breakfast, and she needs bacon. He kills a pig. He needs ultimately, story says that the wife died. Family and friends came over. He had to feed them all. What did he have to do? He had to kill the cow. What is the moral behind all this? The snake wasn't an issue for the cat, for the cow, the chicken, for the pig, until it affected them. No, this is really powerful. Many things don't matter to people until it affects them. And here's what I'm telling you. I pray that no one in your family, this is not doom and gloom, but I'm praying that no one in your family ever has to come face to face with the criminal justice system. But I'm saying if for some reason they do, I want the advocate plan to be strong, to be able to stand, to be able to come alongside, to be an advocate, to be for them, because I believe that having someone for you is many times the difference between making it and missing it. And so, hey, I've done my job tonight. I pray that something that was said tonight touches your heart, and that you will help us help individuals. I'm praying that every person that's watching tonight, watching live, and those that are watching the replay, help us help people. Click the link, scan the QR code. Your generous donation, your one-time donation, your audit, your recurring donation, help us be an advocate and be for somebody what you may not have even been able to be for other people. Man, and you guys know I'm a person of faith. I believe that what I make happen for others, ultimately, God's gonna make happen for me. Some of you that you may be even wrestling with and have family members that are challenged with the criminal justice reform. Be for someone you know the challenges families are facing. I really would encourage you to take advantage of this. Let me help another father. Let me help another mother. I know what they're going through. I want to help make sure that their son, their daughter, that woman's husband, that man's wife can be released, be strong, be stable, and be successful. And so, hey, thank you for your time tonight. Thank you, all of you, for sharing this. Thank you for tagging in it. And thank you in advance for your generous donation. I believe, I really believe that you're going to help me. And hey, I've already committed my monthly donation. I always going to stand behind what I do. And so I'm asking you just stand with me. Um, so if you do that, I'm really, really grateful. Thank you so much. And I'll keep you updated. I'll keep you updated. 2024 is going to be great. Road to Recovery program, Making Christmas Merry, is right around the corner. We're in the jails, in the schools, touching lives, and you're helping us do it. So thank you so much. Have an incredible night. God bless you. And thank you for helping individuals, families, and communities have hope. God bless you.